says, statistician, changes in the sun's luminosity correlate exceedingly well with average land temperatures on Earth. Okay, so we're saying that the sun's like brightness correlates with our average temperature. Clearly, in contrary to accepted opinion among meteorologists, the sun's luminosity essentially controls land temperatures on Earth. So we're saying like the sun's luminosity must control the land temperature. So the statistician's conclusion here is that last sentence. And then how does the meteorologist respond?
I disagree. Any professional meteorologist will tell you that in a system as complicated as that, giving rise to the climate, no significant aspect can be controlled by a single variable.
Okay, so what is the meteorologist's conclusion?
Is it I disagree?
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, because any professional meteorologist will tell you this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one's tricky, where it says the rejection by meteorologist of the statistician conclusion employs which of the following. So it's like how does the meteorologist get to its conclusion of rejecting the statistician? All right, so go ahead and start by reading A.
So A says supporting a conclusion. Okay. Supporting a conclusion about a specific case by invoking a relevant generalization. This one I was kind of indifferent about, to be very honest. I just didn't know. Yeah. So but what I initially thought was no, because he's rejecting. So how can he be supporting?
He can be supporting our conclusion of rejecting. Like our conclusion is I disagree. So we're supporting our conclusion of I disagree.
Okay, so the rejection by the meteorologist of the statistician's conclusion.
So I'm thinking, okay, so are we supporting the conclusion that I disagree about a specific case? So what would be the specific case?
The sun's luminosity?
Yes, by invoking a relevant, do we use a relevant generalization?
Yeah, that one, no significant aspect can be controlled by a single variable. That's just like a general rule.
So what do you think about A then?
Yeah, I guess it sounds good.
Yeah, I actually like this one where I'm like, okay, we support a conclusion, yes.
Yeah.
We have a specific case, yes. Do we use a relevant generalization? Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Okay. What about B?
B says producing a single counterexample that establishes a generalization is false as stated. No, he doesn't
give us counterexample.
We don't have a counterexample. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. What about C?
It says reanalyzing a correlation as reflecting the multiple effects of a single cause. No, not happening.
What does reanalyzing a correlation mean?
Just kind of, I guess, addressing it in a different way. The correlation that he's mentioning about the sun's luminosity.
Right. Like we don't disagree that the luminosity isn't correlated with the land temperature, right? We're just saying that like there's a different reasoning for it. Like our conclusion is different. We're not disagreeing with the fact that it correlates.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
D says rejecting a conclusion because it is a proposition that cannot be experimentally tested. We don't know if it can or cannot be experimentally tested.
I like the rejecting a conclusion part.
Yeah, I did too, but
the second part. Excellent.
No, yeah. So E says pointing out that potentially unfavorable evidence has been systemically neglected. I don't know why, but I chose that one because I had done process of elimination from the prior like B, C, and D. And then I went with E.
So what does pointing out that potentially unfavorable evidence has been neglected mean?
So I was kind of thinking because he said, I disagree. And then he said that unfavorable.
What does this answer choice mean? Like not even in this stimulus, just what does that answer choice mean? Like what is it referring to?
So you're just kind of.
Or what would that look like if we did that?
Okay, so pointing out potential unfavorable evidence has been systemically neglected. So just saying that something like that has not been tested or proven or addressed. I don't know. I mean,
I think it's just pointing out like evidence that they wouldn't like.
Yeah.
that they failed to think about.
That, yeah,
Don't say
exactly.
like, hey, you're ignoring this part over here.
Yeah. So
That's
I thought
what
that's what he was trying to get at by that last part where it says no significant aspect can be controlled by one single variable. So I went with E because A, obviously the term supporting a conclusion completely threw me off, because even the question stem says the rejection by the meteorologist.
I think it's like more, yeah, and it's more of a generalization than evidence.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. That part is true.
Will tell you that this, like, it's not necessarily like, this is like a generalization that people say. It's not like a fact.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's, you know, they will tell you. It's not like, hey, it's proven, then everybody abides by this.
Yes.
I get that part, but then how did you say that we can support a conclusion by rejecting? Like, what was that part?
We support the conclusion. I disagree.
That conclusion is what meteorologist is supporting.
So when it says supporting a conclusion, we're supporting the conclusion. I disagree.
Oh, he's supporting his own conclusion. Yes. Oh.
But it also is right to say, like, when it's down here where it says rejecting a conclusion.
Yeah, because he's rejecting the other guy's conclusion.
That's okay too. That part's okay too. Like, because it's just like, how does it, how like, what are we referring to?
Oh, I did
one
not.
Of those are okay. If the second half here was,
yeah,
it says rejecting a conclusion by using a generalization, it would be correct too.
That is, oh wow, I never even thought of that. Yeah. I always thought it was like the opposite parties is what you're working for. So this is basically literally answering how he answered him, like he disagreed, so then he supports his own conclusion by giving a general,
yes,
okay, generalization about that. Oh wow, I didn't even think of that.
And by supporting his conclusion, he rejects the meteorologist.
Exactly. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.